Hello, loved ones. How are you doing? Welcome to Love Marlene 411. I am in Florida, and I do podcasts on this channel. I focus this channel on love. This channel is all about love relationships. It's about healing from your traumas, developing your own love for yourself, maintaining healthy relationships, and just all about love, romantic love, platonic love. Yeah, all of those things. So today we're going to be talking about the love that we have for ourselves. I feel that it's a very important thing in this life to get to a space in your life where you love yourself. And I know that if I did a poll of people, that the majority of people would say that they love themselves. But really, at the end of the day, do you really, are you really doing everything that you need to do so that you can be okay, so that you can feel safe and secure in doing everything you need to do for yourself? And it means, making some really serious decisions for yourself, deciding to choose to respect your own boundaries, making a choice to know that, I have to be committed to me. That's something that's very important. Hi, Kristen. How are you doing? Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And, I always want to put that out to my audience. Let me put a poll out here and ask a question. Okay. I'm going to put that. I just started it. I hope everybody will take the poll because that's something that's very important. First, I wanted to start off in this podcast conversation talking about love you have for yourself. Hi, James Money. How are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. I hope all is well with you. The reason why I wanted to have this conversation about self-love is because I see lots of things on the internet. I see a lot of things on social media, and a lot of people will claim to love themselves, but when it comes to making decisions, how they treat themselves, setting boundaries, and all of those things, I think that it's important to make sure you're not letting your love for yourself be manifest on how other people see you. How do other people perceive me? And if people leave your life, like say you break up in a relationship, or you are abandoned by a parent or a sibling or other people, or maybe your money is not looking right, a lot of people evaluate and judge that I am loved based on what I have. I'm loved based on what I can do. And when I cannot do the things maybe that you used to do as you get older, maybe if you develop a health problem, we still have value. There's still love inside of each and every person. And I say this all the time when I deal with clients that are special needs, clients that slow down in life, they get older. Just because maybe your mind slows down, maybe your body slows down, or if you get rejected in life, it does not mean that you are not loved. You have less value because your life has changed and shifted. And I think it's important to put this narrative out there. A lot of people think that they're only loved when they look good on the outside. But as you get older, as issues happen, as people leave your life, and success really is based on what you think success is. For me, success in my life means being at a space in my life where I feel peace in my heart. I'm living my life on my terms, with joy, and I've healed from the trauma from the past. And I'm here to tell you, I've had many things that I've had to heal in my life, and I'm still a work in progress. I'm still trying to work on me and to improve and to be the best woman that I can be, to be the best sister, and to be the best mom, to be the best auntie, to be the best friend, to be the best partner that I can be. And we can't be that until we learn to love ourselves. And it was a really deep thing that I had to get into when I was a little bit younger. I always thought that my romantic relationship was supposed to fill in the void of my what I was missing. Like if you had mom issues, dad issues, abandonment, feelings of worthlessness, I felt that a romantic relationship was supposed to make me feel better. When we kind of have that twisted sometimes. Don't get me wrong, everybody. I'm all for the romance and having somebody in your life that loves you. That's a wonderful and beautiful thing. But it's not anybody else's job to make us feel good about ourselves. Yes, a person in your life should be giving you love and support and kindness and respect and all of those things, but it's not anybody else's responsibility to fulfill us. I had to learn to heal my own self, fix my own self, and work on me so that I could be in the position to be happy with me. Learning to receive me, learning that I'm somebody important and special. And I say this to anybody who is in the sound of my voice, who is listening either live or in the replay. You have value. You have value inside of yourself. And I understand that because of life and situations and traumas and all of those things, sometimes we don't feel that we're even capable of being loved, much less having love within ourselves. And I'm telling you that it's possible. But it's all about the narrative. It's the conversation and the self-talk that we have with ourselves. How do you speak to yourself? This is something recently that I have been learning, that it's important, the conversation that you have with yourself. How do you talk to yourself? Do you tell yourself how special you are? How proud you are of yourself? And you're a great person and you can do great things. Everything is what you speak out of your mouth. I'm checking on the poll right now. It says I have 5 votes, and all 5 people have said they love themselves. That's awesome. I'm not going to end it yet. I'm going to wait until the end of the live stream to finish the poll. I'm going to leave it up for the rest of the live stream. But I definitely wanted to say there's things that we have to do. We can't just stop on the surface level, because that's what many people do. Yes, it's wonderful to speak positive over your life and to say, I love me. That's something, yes, that's very important, but that's just the beginning. Now, because we say we love ourselves, what are we willing to do? What am I going to do because I love myself? That's where it starts. And that's where the investigation of what's my reason for being here? What's my purpose in this life? What makes me happy? What brings me joy? What brings up my energy? What makes me feel good inside of myself? That's a part of your self-love and your self-talk. But most people don't get into the self-awareness. And that's where I feel like the journey of your love really starts, is learning to be aware of things that pull us aside from our purpose. Being aware of things that make us feel bad about ourselves. Nobody has the right to make you feel less than. And all it is just a deflection. People are just deflecting whatever they feel about themselves. And when they are in a miserable space, they hate to see you in a happy space. You make them feel guilty. You make them feel bad because they are not in a space of happiness, in a space of healing, in a space of joy, and living their life with purpose and meaning. But it's not our job to make other people feel bad. feel good about themselves. I did that for many, many years. I was always that friend that was always supportive of other people, trying to encourage them, but it gets draining when it's one-sided. I had to learn that about myself. I'm not speaking for anybody but me. But for myself, I had to stop only being the one-sided person, like one-sided relationship. If it's always me telling you you're phenomenal, always telling you you can do great things, keep your head up, I'm here for you, but I never received that back. That is a toxic relationship as well. And I know that not everybody is the same, and they're always going to give you those things, but from time to time, checking on you, seeing how you're doing, pouring love into you, because everybody, whether you are a positive person or you're a negative person, everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to get love from others. And if you find people are in your life and they are not giving you the love that you need, that's where I had to start in my healing journey, is recognize the ones that actually can give me love and the ones that can't, because they are incapable. And it's a hard pill for us to swallow. We just think that everybody is in the same position as us, but not everybody has, number one, come to the realization of their value in this life. Not everybody comes to the space where they are at peace, and they have done some work on their inside, like I have. I put 7 years of my life, I put myself in therapy because I didn't want to be an angry person anymore. I didn't want to be a procrastinator or a complainer. I wanted to have healthy relationships. I wanted to be happy for myself, and I wanted to be happy for other people. And there's no way that I could be happy for other people until I learned to be happy with myself. Learning to accept myself for who I was, for what I could do, for my personality, and enjoying that, reveling in those moments, learning the self awareness, the self celebration. I recognize my gifts, I recognize my talents. And that's when I learned how important having the positive affirmations where you speak over your life. That was life changing for me. It may not work for everybody, but it definitely works for me. Every morning I wake up, I have to speak and declare over my life as it already has happened. If you ever think about it, when you wake up one day and you say it's not going to be a good day, it's a terrible day, nothing is going right, that's the energy that you're going to receive back. So I learned to be very careful with the verbiage that I use, the pronouncements that I speak, over my life, and learning also to give that same positive talk to other people. We look at other people, and we're humans, we judge other people, that's just human nature. But I try my best these days to see the good in other people. Do you all do that? Do you look to see the good in people? I found that the more that I learned to love me, the more I received myself, the more I used my gifts and my talents, it's the more that I could look at another person the same way. When you're in a happy and healthy space in your life, you can actually see the good in other people. That's when I could look at another person and say, you know what? They're doing awesome. I'm so happy for them. And that's how I know that I was healing and I was in a good space in my life. Because before, the old me, I used to always be looking at other people, and who do they think they are doing that? Oh, and they always got something new. Like, I can honestly be happy for others now, and not be negative, not doubt other people and ask them, why do they get that? I'm looking at my life and I'm focusing on my life and how I can make me happy. And that is a big difference. And I think that's something that's very important. Hey Shay, how are you doing? I appreciate you being here. No, that was me buffering. It's kind of raining a little bit outside. I was buffering for a little bit, but it seems that it's back. But I definitely wanted to say this to everybody. The love that you have for yourself is not based on anything outside of you. Okay? Your love for yourself is not based on anything outside of you. The love that you have for yourself is something that you have to nurture. It's just like literal food. Like we eat to nourish our body so that we can have the strength to continue. And the same thing has to happen with our own lives. We cannot be happy. We cannot be at peace. We cannot love ourselves until we're putting in the work to maintain our love. And for me, maintaining my love means having a balance, giving to others, giving people love, giving people support, but also I'm happy that I was able to be able to say, you know what? I also deserve love. I also deserve to get respect. I also deserve accolades. I deserve for somebody to say, do you need anything? Are you all right? For a really long time, I used to feel guilty if I wanted some support. I used to feel like it was something wrong or something bad because I was raised that way. I was raised that you don't ask people for help. You do it all on your own, but no man or woman is an island. Everybody needs some support. Everybody needs some help. And we don't have to be perfect. And that's something that I'm still working on it. I'm a work in progress, but because we love ourselves, we also have to learn to ask for help from others. And I don't mean just anybody. I mean, my issue for a really long time was I wouldn't allow people to support me. No matter how I would be suffering so much. I would be suffering, and I would never say, I need some help. I would never say, can you assist me? So, to anybody who needs to hear that, moms, dads, brothers, grandparents, everybody, please, because you love yourself, ask for assistance, ask for support, not from everybody, but from the right people who have a track record of showing their support and love for you. They've proven that they care about you. And that it's kind of difficult to navigate sometimes, but it's something that is very important. Hey, realist, how are you doing? Happy Tuesday. I appreciate you being here. And I can remember when I was younger, um, I did not have a balanced view of love. I don't know who is like me, but I'm always going to be honest with you. I did not have a balanced view of love. I thought love was only shown in what you can do. I always thought love is giving money. Love is doing things for others. But I never thought love meant just being there. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to buy anything. And in this society of greed and all of these things, so many people have things twisted that love is not just a material thing. It's not just giving you clothes and this and taking you to fancy restaurants. Love is way more than the financial. Don't get me wrong, you need the financial to survive, but it should not be the only thing in a relationship. Well, I should say a healthy relationship, because there's a lot of people out there that are not healthy. There's a lot of toxic individuals, and they only are focused in on what they want and what they need, and they don't care nothing about what you want and what you need. But part of that loving yourself, like I asked the question to the audience, do you love yourself? Part of loving yourself is recognizing who actually does. It's tapping into the energy of other people. How do they show up? Is their energy pure, or is their energy really toxic? Like, or is the person very controlling, or are they very jealous? I had to go about really evaluating the people who were in my life and asking myself, do they deserve to have a place in my life? Many people in our life that we quote unquote say we love, it's not a healthy love, you know. Love is supposed to be kind, supportive, understanding, compassionate, reasonable, respectful. And I will say that a lot of people don't know truly what love is. The majority of people in this world and on this earth don't know what real and true love is. I'm not talking about the romantic love. I mean, just they don't know what it means to love themselves first before they can love another person. And I had to go through a deep dive into what do I define love is, and what does love mean to me? Why is it important for me to be loved? Why am I valuable? Hi, Miss Betty. How are you doing? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Happy Tuesday to you. And for me, my healing process of working on me and learning to love myself was a really deep thing. I started off in my therapy journey thinking that I was going to talk about some unresolved issues from whatever, my mama, my daddy, traumas, whatever. And come to find out that a lot of my issues started with me. I believe 100% that how we feel about ourselves shows up everything in life, you know. And I'll tell you something that I learned in the past 6 months that has been changing my complete life. And that's that you get out of this life what you show up. So if you show up questioning things, if you show up doubtful, if you show up jealous, if you show up angry, that is exactly what you're going to get back out of this life. And I thought that that was something very interesting. I noticed when I shifted and I became more positive and I became more compassionate to other people, I started noticing more people was giving me the same. So in this life, we get out of this life what we put in. If you don't put in positivity, if you don't put in a positive mindset, a positive attitude, most likely that's not what you're going to get back. And I do understand that there's a lot of users and takers and entitled people, negative, evil people, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people really who are truly good, genuine people. And I found that the more that I had worked on my own self-confidence, I worked on my own self-respect and setting boundaries, that I started receiving kindness and compassionate self-love, consideration back to myself. Hi, Tamika. How are you doing? Happy Tuesday. I don't know if you all get that as well, but I learned when I started to treat myself better, when I learned to love myself better, and in that, I didn't understand that loving yourself means you have to have a whole friendship with yourself. That was a new concept for me because how I grew up, I for one didn't even know anything about self-love, self-respect, boundaries, commitment, focus, and we have to have those things inside of ourselves first. First, you have to know yourself and love yourself before anything in your life can shift. You have to be in that position to say, I love myself. You have to be in that position, and you have to make a choice to say, I choose me. I choose to love me. I choose to respect myself. Hey, Boss Life Online, how are you doing? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And that's something that I personally, I feel that self-love is the only a gift that you can give. You know, it's a gift you give yourself. And it's sad, But I'm being 100% real and honest. I never understood that I was supposed to give myself love. I was always looking for love from my parents, my siblings, friends, money. There's a lot of ways that we can look for love. We can look for love from things. We can look for love from people. We can look for love from achievement and think that that means that we're loved. But love is way more than just tangible things, having money, having outfits, having this, the home you have, the clothes, the cars, what you show to people. True love starts from within. And until you learn to love yourself from within and learn to focus on who am I as a woman, or who am I as a man, and why am I here? What is my purpose? What is my reason for existing? You know? And when I started to tap into who I actually was, and that I'm a valuable person, even if other people don't value me. That was a really hard thing for me to talk about. I was looking through my notes when I went to therapy a few years ago, and that's what I wrote down in there. That was hard for me to accept, that my love for myself is not based on who likes me, who accepts me. Self love is based on what I do for me. Me allowing myself to show up for me every day, knowing my worth inside of me, not if other people accept me or like me or show up for me, but it's how I show up for myself first. And that was difficult because for many years I was always taught to be selfless. And I always thought that if I did something for me, I was selfish. You know, I grew up in that family dynamic. If you did something for yourself, you're selfish, you're mean. Why don't you always, it was always, you have to give to this person, give to that person. And if you're always giving to others, when do you ever give to yourself? So it was a humbling thing that I had to realize, that to love others, first I had to love me. First, I had to learn how to be my own friend, because that's not something that I knew how to do. It was not an automatic thing for me. Maybe it's automatic for some, but it was not automatic for me. I had to learn that I could say no and not feel guilty. I had to learn that what I wanted to do shouldn't supersede what other people wanted to do. So, for example, if there's something that I have in line to do for whatever my goals, and somebody is asking me to do something, I don't mind supporting and helping and loving somebody else, but I had to learn that I will help you when I help myself. So it was all about me learning about boundaries, and remember to put on your own oxygen mask. Learn to feed and heal and take care of myself. That's that friendship that you have to constantly grow and nourish and feed, and even sometimes weed out, because let me tell you something. When you get in a really bad romantic relationship, when you have people who are your quote unquote friends or your relatives, you know, people call them family, but I call them relatives, because not everybody we're related to is happy. It is healing to our spirit and our soul. It's not a lot of people that we're related to that actually care about us and us benefiting, and wanting to see us win and wanting to see us succeed. Most of the time it's the opposite. Their objective is, what can you do for me? And then when you can't do anything for me, you don't hear from them. They don't call you, they don't talk to you. So one thing that I had to learn and balance in learning myself is learning to make sure when I start my day, I start off my day saying I'm grateful, showing up for me first with a spirit of gratitude. I'm grateful that I'm here another day. I'm grateful that I get another opportunity, because that's how I look at my life. I have an opportunity to live my life. I have certain things that I can do with my life. And I have to make a choice to have the right attitude. Because let me tell you something, before about 7 years ago, I my attitude was really nasty. Um, I guess I could say I was a person who felt entitled. I felt like I was entitled, that people had to do what I wanted them to do because that's just the way that I was raised. I had to sit and wait for other people to do things for me. And that's a very toxic reasoning, thinking, and attitude. And when I started shifting, don't wait for other people to make you happy. If there's something that you want to do, then go do it by yourself. I had to learn to get up and make it happen for me, and not sit and wait for other people to go along with me. Because me being the last child, I'm the last of 10. I always wanted to have somebody go with me on my journey in my life. I always wanted people in my life to elevate because I wanted to do better. I wanted them to do better too. And life just does not happen that way. You know, it's very unfortunate that some people don't want to grow. Some people don't want to be happy. They choose to be miserable. They choose to complain. They choose to not be consistent. They choose to judge. They choose to never grow up and to be a happy individual. And I had to learn for myself that I have to cut off toxic people, because they are stopping me from being happy. They are stopping me from my joy. They're stopping me from my peace. And even sometimes people we have in our life are stopping our finances because they're always making poor decisions, wasting their money, not budgeting the right way, or doing whatever it is that they're doing with their money. And then they come over here on your side and try to disrupt your peace by always constantly asking for money. And let me tell you that when it comes to money, it's the biggest way to ruin a relationship with somebody, because you start giving them your money, and then next thing they don't give it back to you, you're angry, and next thing you don't want to deal with them anymore. So I learned a lesson from Miss Nexie, who is my wonderful co-host for the Sip and Chat, and she taught me something very valuable. Don't give what you need. So you got to think about yourself. It's a part of putting on your own oxygen mask. Don't give money that you need for yourself. Don't give out what you don't can't lose. So, I had to learn that, give people a gift when you can, but don't do it at the cost of your bills being late, or, co-signing certain things, or doing something that you're not comfortable. Part of loving myself is I had to learn to set some boundaries for myself. What am I going to accept? What will I not accept? What will I like and what don't I like? And the majority of people in this life, they never get to the space where they set boundaries for themselves and then enforce them. See, a lot of people will say, I don't like this or I don't like that, but then they don't do anything about it to enforce it. They let people treat them any type of way. They let people disrespect them. They let people not support them, and they still continue in the relationships with them. When somebody shows you who they are, believe it, and believe it the first time. So when I tell people how I feel, how they're making me feel, I feel disrespected, I feel lack of support, I don't feel whatever it is, and then they don't do anything about it, now I have to make a choice to choose me. And that's something that I feel like is very powerful. And I want to say that to you all as well. It's very powerful when you can say, this is what I expect, not asking, this is what I expect. And if you cannot do that for me, you cannot be a part of my inner circle. You cannot be in a close relationship with me. Let's see what Realist just put a comment. Even if it takes a little time, they show us eventually. Yes, Realist. People show us eventually. And it's the hardest thing when it comes to our relatives. I don't mean family, your relatives. Because We feel like we have to do all of these things for our relatives, and we don't. Respect yourself first. um Respect yourself. That's a part of your self-preservation. It's a part of your self-awareness. It's part of your self-respect and your confidence in yourself. I'm not going to allow people to manipulate me. I'm not going to allow people to control me, treat me any kind of way. And I also had to learn, in learning to love myself, is I had to set the standard. You train people how to treat you. You train them. So if you say you don't like something and then you keep going along with it, you're showing them that, they just say that, but eventually they'll do what I tell them to do. And I learned that when I was going through my therapy. And you know how you ask, people who you're close to, and tell me about myself. And I think that it was very eye-opening and scary for me, because the things that people would tell me is, I know if I ask you for something, you're always going to show up. Somebody else told me, you never say no. Another person told me is that I'm really a person that I'm supportive of everybody, but I don't get supported, which was true. But it's something different when somebody else is telling you what you don't want to hear. So I had to go about changing the things that I didn't like. And that's, for me, part of loving myself, is changing the things that I don't like so that I can be my best self. For me, that's real true love for yourself. You have to learn how to treat yourself in the best way. I don't mean how other people want to receive love. For many years, I was treating myself how other people wanted to treat me. I was always getting the leftovers or the crumbs whenever they felt like, oh, I'll call her every 3 or 4 months. I'll show up, I'll only call her when I need something, when they have their hand out. And I was always taking that. But these days, because I have stepped into my healing journey, I've stepped into my self respect and confidence. I'm confident that if that person cannot give me what I need, I'm confident that there's going to be somebody right away to replace them, because I know that I'm high valued. I know that I am very valuable. I know I'm a treasure. I know I'm very important. And if you speak that over your life, and you don't just say that, you're walking in it. Because I respect myself, because I love myself, because I value myself, I will not let people run over me. I will not let other people disrespect me. That's self-love. And also, you have to be confident too, because yes, I have said that since I have been in therapy and I've worked on me, people have left my life, because a lot of people don't like that they can't run over me anymore, that I'm not the yes woman. I'm not all, and oh yeah, these days I'm not always available. I won't always give you money. I'm not always going to support you. I'm going to tell you no, and I'm going to mean it, and you're not going to change my mind. But that took time for me to work on me and have enough confidence to say, there's some things I don't want to do. There's some things that I don't like. There's some things that I can't afford, and I'm okay with it. I'm not a person like before. I would feel guilty because I couldn't afford to do something or go somewhere. These days, I'm like, nope, can't afford that. Nope, that's not within budget. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Nope, I don't like that. Or no, I don't like him or her. And I'm okay with it. Learning to love yourself means learning to be 100% honest with yourself. And I'm grateful that I'm at a space in my life where I can be free to say, I don't like this person. I don't like that. I don't like the way that their behaviors. I can identify things because I've matured. And part of loving yourself is being mature. Being mature enough to walk away from toxicity, identifying honestly when I am being toxic. And that's something that a lot of people will not do. But I am in a very healthy space in my life where I have good people in my life when I'm not doing what I need to do, when I'm not showing up for myself, when I'm not being consistent, when I'm walking in fear instead of walking in faith. I have people who will check me, like, what are you doing? I thought you were going to do this or that. And that's why I always say, when you love yourself, you're going to draw people who are like you, like a magnet, and they're going to check you. And that's what you need. Before, I used to have people in my life that quote unquote loved me, but they loved me because they were the yes people. They always told me what I wanted to hear. And people who really love you won't only tell you what you want to hear, they'll tell you what you need to hear. Sometimes we need to hear, get off your butt and go and do this. Or how come you haven't done that? Or they'll check you like you are wrong for that. And that helps you to grow as a woman or as a man. You don't need people in your life that only tell you the good and the sweet. They'll tell you when you're wrong. They'll tell you when you're messing up. And I'm happy that I can be in that space in my life where somebody can tell me something and I won't go all the way left field, like angry and yelling, cuss them out, because I can pause and say, you know what? I was wrong. You know what? That was not a good thing or a good decision. And then I heal it. I forgive myself and say, that wasn't a good decision, but I forgive myself and I allow myself to move on. So, what are we going to do different next time? That's a really big part of your maturity and your adulthood, is realizing when you're wrong, not blaming anybody else, being accountable, all of those things, and then moving forward. For me, learning to love myself meant, man, checking myself, man, that was not a good decision, man, you just messed up. Or, asking yourself, why did I feel like I needed that person as a friend, or whoever, whatever the case may be? Why do I felt like I needed them in my life? Most of the time, it's something that is insufficient inside of us. Most people that we choose to be in friendships with, or people who we choose to give our heart to, if we have not checked and healed our past, healed our trauma, we're going to be finding people in our life to fill a void that we need to fill ourselves. That was probably about 2 years of my therapy, going into myself and realizing, like, why do I feel that I have to accept their behavior? And asking myself, honestly, why? Why do I feel like I need them in my life when they don't respect me? They don't respect my boundaries. They don't respect my opinions. And there's a thing as being a mature, I shouldn't say grown, because a lot of people are running around here and they're grown, but they're not mature. It's a big difference. And I had to learn that just because a person is grown, it doesn't mean they're mature. And also, there's a thing about learning to agree to disagree. You're not always going to get along with everybody. And nobody is perfect. And you don't want everybody to always be like a kiss up in your life. You want people who are going to tell you the real, but at the same time, you don't need no negativity. You don't need people around you that are going to be jealous of you, or will tell you that's not a good idea, or whatever, because they don't want to do it. And it's jealousy driven. It's negative. That person has never been consistent. I try to keep people on my side and on my team that stay consistent, that are about their business, that are kind people, that are level headed, and for the most part, people who are calm. As I age, I can no longer handle people who fly off the handle, or who say things but they don't speak. They don't think before they speak. As I'm getting older, that's getting more and more as my what do you call that word? It's fleeting to me right now, but somebody who does not think before they speak. I can't think of the word right now, but those people these days are really getting on my nerves. I'm definitely a person, I'm a thinker. I like to think a lot. And people who don't think, but they just act, and they treat people like garbage, and they're very disrespectful, and they think that they can come back, and they think a sorry can fix disrespect. A sorry can fix whatever, rudeness or whatever. And these days, I'm learning to preserve my peace. And when I see who somebody really is, a person who's very, very disrespectful, a person who's a control freak or a manipulator, and it's not always that. Some people really truly have a mental condition. Some people are honestly off, and I'm not saying it to make fun of people, but it's what it is. Some people mentally are not all together. And one thing about learning to love yourself is, part of learning to love yourself is realizing what you can handle and learning what you can't. And that's okay. There are some people that we have in our life that we don't need to have in our life. And I had to, part of me loving myself is giving myself permission to let go of people who are manipulating me and using me and controlling me. And they've never really supported, it's always been me. I don't know if I'm just speaking to myself or I'm speaking to others that can understand, but there's a lot of times where we are the ones doing everything in the relationship, whether it's romantic or platonic, or it's your relative, or it's the workplace. But if you're not getting any benefit, respect yourself enough that I don't have to take it, and I can get better. I had to start elevating my mind before my life would elevate. If you don't believe that your life can change, then you're not going to start having the thoughts of doing what it takes in order to receive a change. My mentor has been helping me with that. If you don't foresee that a change can happen, you're not going to get up and do something to make it happen. First, you have to believe that a change can happen for me, and then you have to walk in line with the change that you want. See, first, you have to think, and then you act. So, it's all of those things. So, I definitely wanted to have this conversation. Yep, I told y'all I'm having storms, but I'm going for my hour. I just turned on my cellular data, so I apologize if it's not, the lighting is not good. My ring light went off, but I wanted to say this to everybody. If you have people in your life and they are not respecting your peace, if they don't show up for you and value you, ask yourself, why do I continue to have them in my life? And for me, I thought that I needed certain individuals in my life. And, I had to elevate my thinking. We don't need, we want people in our life. You guys see the flickering? Hot mess in Florida right now. You have to see the potential in yourself. You have to elevate your thoughts. You have to be aware of yourself and aware of your peace. You have to be aware. Know your worth, and know that you deserve better. And until you know you deserve better, you're not going to get better. So, be consistent. Have boundaries. Make boundaries for yourself and with other people. I think that that's something that's very important. I see that all 12, there was nobody who said that they didn't love themselves. So that's amazing. I'm happy to hear that. I'm about to end the poll. So thank you guys so much. But I definitely wanted to say that it's important to preserve your peace. it's important to think about what you want, think about what you deserve, and then move in line with that. If you know you deserve better, then act like it, you know? And it means being very transparent, open, and honest with yourself, and learning to respect you. Because at the end of the day, um, one thing that I learned in the past is when everybody else walks away from you, you always have yourself. And make sure when other people walk away from you, make sure you like what's left. You like yourself. Because if you are doing all kinds of grimy things and underhanded things for other people, it's not going to feel good when you're looking at yourself and say, man, I didn't even treat myself right. I don't even have any self-esteem. I don't have any courage. I don't have, like, your faith will be down in the toilet. But don't let other people stop you from loving yourself. And I'm just going to speak on this for a little bit, and then I'm going to get out of here. But I wanted to say this to anybody who's ever been hurt by love, romantic love. I'm telling you that it's a real thing when someone has broken your heart in a million pieces. And you feel like sometimes like you don't want to go on, but keep going anyways. Sometimes the people that we cared so much about didn't deserve to have that space. We gave that space to them. We allowed that. Okay? But don't sit down and stop your life because your life didn't pan out how you wanted it to. Encourage yourself, fortify your mind, fortify your heart, that I deserve to be here. You deserve to be here. You deserve to be in this life doing what you're supposed to do, living your life with joy, living your life with your talents and your gifts. And I want to say this to anybody who needs to hear it. When we go through situations in our life where love was lacking, where there are people in our life that didn't love us how we needed to be loved, maybe not in your love language, maybe not with affection, maybe not with money, maybe not with time, maybe not with support, it's okay. And in the beginning, it doesn't feel okay because nobody wants to not be supported. Nobody wants to not get the things that they want. But don't let how another person shows up or not shows up to stop us from being our best. You continue on being your best. You keep on loving yourself. You keep on using your gifts. You keep on looking and searching and receiving your blessings, okay? When a blessing is there for you, when it's supposed to be opened up, sometimes all it takes for you to take a few steps, step into your faith and open up the door. Step up into your faith and have some courage. Step up into your faith and manifest the life that you want. See, we get hurt sometimes by love or by our relatives or by other people or friendships. We were expecting a certain outcome from individuals and they did not give us the love that we wanted. That is okay. It's okay. They didn't deserve to have that space in your life and that space in your heart. Never sit down and close yourself off from opportunities and potential because of pain and hurt. Get out there and live again. Get out there and thrive again. Go out there and let yourself do something phenomenal for you. You could be missing out on the best friendship you ever had. You could be missing out on an opportunity for your business, for going out and living out your dreams. Don't sit and complain about the past and what hurt you and who hurt you and what they did. Eventually you're going to have to let yourself be free of it. You're going to have to let yourself heal from it and say, that's over, that's done. Now it's time for me to step into living my life. That's over, it's done. Close the door, open up that cage that you have closed yourself into, and be free. Walk into your freedom. Walk into your joy. Walk into your season of peace. Love yourself the way you deserve to be loved. And don't wait for other people to love you. Self-love is a gift that we have to give ourselves. You got to wake up every day and choose to love yourself. You got to wake up every day and choose to be your own best friend. You have to wake up every day and say, I'm phenomenal. I forgive what hurt me, and I also forgive myself. That is a big gift that we must give ourselves. Give yourself the gift of healing. I forgive me for every mistake I made. I forgive me for when I didn't do the right thing. I forgive myself when I didn't do what I needed to do. See, it's in the healing that we receive peace. It's in the healing that we receive clarity. Get clear about your life. Learn to love you and be unapologetic about it. I know that things happen in this life. I know that drama happens. I know that trauma happens. I know that sadness, disruption, and things just get us down and get us discouraged. I also know about the mental health. Certain situations happen and our mental health is not in a good position, maybe because of depression or traumas or whatever situation, finances, your personal health, just struggles in life as an adult. But don't let the outside get you down on your inside. Check it where it needs to be checked. When the things that are out of your control, you leave it. But focus on what you can control. And what you can control is your attitude. What you can control is how much you love yourself. What you can control is your friendship you have with yourself. What you can control is getting out there and making your life prosperous on purpose. Remember, you have a purpose in this life, and it's up to you to claim it. Claim your life, receive your life, love your life. Have enough courage to get up every single day and say, today I claim winning. Today I claim prosperity. Today I make a choice to love me because I am somebody, and you are. Each and every one of you is somebody, but you got to speak it. You got to declare it. You have to heal it. You have to be your own friend. And it is one of the most important things that you can give to yourself. Respect yourself and respect your boundaries. You know, if you don't want to do something, say about this topic right here. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's topic. I'm going to go through and say my thank yous. Thank you, Boss Life Online. Realist one here. If you guys see any of my moderators in blue, please go and check out their channels. Boss Life Online, Realist one here, Bella's Whisper Farmstead Kristen, Retirement Days, Comfort Foods and More, Shay Love. Yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in. Check out my mods, and you all are always welcome to join my channel membership. On the channel membership, we get into a little bit heavier topics. This channel is all about love for ourselves and learning to heal it, learning, and we can be happy and draw healthy relationships and love for whoever we're in a relationship with, whatever for friendships, whatever for business, so that we can have peace. I wish you all, like I say every time, I wish you love for yourself, love from other people, so that you can generate love to other people. I'm Marlene of Love Marlene 411, and on this channel I do podcasts all about love. I give you the 411 about all things love. Thank you for tuning in. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Turn on your notifications, hit the like, and if you're on the replay, leave me a comment in the comment section below. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you all back I'm not sure what day, but maybe Saturday or Sunday, I made this channel back up with hours and all of these things. So I'll see you guys back on the next one. This is Love Marlene 411, and I give you the 411. Bye-bye, guys.